Welcome one and all to round number 3 of season 4 of the F2, and we're getting ready for qualifying straight out on track. And I'm joined by my former C4 sort of co-commentator, Calais.
Well, good evening, guys, and I'm really happy to be back in the commentary booth with you, Ben. We should have a very nice race tonight. I'm seeing it's a bit grey outside. I'm waiting to see about the weather tonight from anyone in the paddock.
Yeah, looking very close to the top. Kappa, Wesley and Phil occupying the top 3 spots. Of course, that first sector, you know, really sort of one proper corner into it, and then if you can survive Eau Rouge and Radion, you know, you're set up for that long run towards the top at Le Com. Wesley edging into the lead now. And Asmith retiring at some point. But look at Prinz reserving in his first race in the F2, and he's up in P1 at the moment.
He was actually asking how to launch the car from the grid, so I think he was sandbagging for a bit.
A bit of beginner's luck, it seems, and well, Carlin and Campos still going at it at the top, like they have been all season. The top 2 in the constructors, as things stand.
Well, yeah, but you know, you'll never be able to say that it's the beginner's luck.
Oh, Prinz down to P10 now.
Prinz, I think he invalidated that lap. I'm pretty sure he invalidated there because I saw it. Yeah, he's invalidated. He just...
It is very, very easy to do around Spa.
Yeah, he put a wheel wrong, and we have to say he's not used to the format. He's not used to the one-shot quali. So yeah, didn't.
And Wesley across the line is going to take pole. Bosmos P2, and Brent and Phil in 3rd and 4th. Great result for Prema, and only 10 cars seem to be sort of getting a valid lap. So it's just so easy to make that mistake.
Yeah, Prinz is going to be fuming because he will know he was on a good lap.
Having a look at Discord, we have got rain at some point. I think Prinz saying there was rain, and yeah, he's a little bit frustrated with missing out on pole position. But yeah, I think it is good signs for him though, going into the race.
I think Prinz could basically drive anything with wheels and drive it fast. He's one of the fastest drivers we have in RLH, so I'm sure he'll do good in the race if nothing surprises him or he doesn't get into incidents. But anyway, it's Wesley on pole, and he's pretty used to that position.
It's a big 4 points for him as well. I believe first pole position of the season for him. And that 4 points actually puts him joint P1 before the racing even gets underway.
Well, yeah, because we have to say that the championship leader is actually really you.
Well, yeah, it was until now.
Yes, and we have raindrops. I'm seeing rain. I'm really curious about what tires the car are going to be starting on.
It's only wets.
On softs. Well, I don't know, because it's only drops. So if they're on softs and have to pit lap 1 or 2, that's going to be funny.
I feel like it is a bit wet. Looking at the top to and down towards turn 1 at the moment, while the guys select their strategy. Interesting to see if it dries up throughout the race. If we get a drying period, I believe it's just so it's 11 laps for a normal F1 25% race. I would have think maybe 12 laps. I'm not actually sure, to be perfectly honest.
Well, I think they're gonna start on the wet tires, huh? Or inters maybe.
Only wets, 13 laps.
Oh, only wets, yeah. So basically, whoa, oh my.
Which was that, Brent?
I think that was Brent, yeah. I think that was Brent. So,
and again, a few cars having a few spins.
It's Brent, and he's... Oh, we have Big Bear in the grass also, yeah. So, yeah, gonna be tricky.
And Phil I was having a chat with Phil just before we got going, and he was hoping for rain. So that Winnie predicted a little bit earlier on today Wow, it could be coming true.
It's coming. Yeah, it's nearer to him now because Phil is one of the very, very good drivers in the rain.
Definitely, and I think
he had a stellar race in Formula One on Spa this season, their last season.
Well, he needs a bit of redemption in the rain at Spa, I feel.
Yeah, he will be looking for it because he's a very good driver in the rain, and he's starting in an excellent P4, so everything to fight for from there.
Yeah, and I think actually what will be quite interesting is Brent. Of course, we saw him struggle a little bit off the start, and he's now going to have really, really cold tyres as well. Of course, not doing the formation laps, that will make things even more difficult. So hopefully he gets off okay. Let's look down the order.
I really like the tires on the new tires. I really like how they look.
And the cars in general look really good. The new ones.
Yeah.
Oh, and Bruma's into the wall. Coming out of Stavolo. Just before you start the third sector, but he's managed to get it going.
And he's in the wall again.
Lost it again. I think the tyres may be a little bit too hot on the rears.
No, Bruma, don't do that. Oh my, he just... Yeah.
Ghosting is off.
Lucky. Yeah, ghosting is off, and we're lucky it's only the formation lap.
The top two are going to be in a difficult position, I think. Well, the top guys, having to wait a lot longer with, I think there's Asmith and just coming out of turn 15. We got Wesley on pole, followed by Bosmos, Brent in P3, Phil 4th, Bruma 5th, Big Bess in P6, Maris 7th, Golden 8th, Skipper 9th, Prinz 10th, 11th is Fiscal, 12th and 13th is Capra and Bogorowski. Jordan is 14th, Asmith is 15th, and Multirab rounds out the 16 drivers. I think we're just waiting for, I think it's Asmith, who is onto the main straight. We can get going for round number 3. Let's see how everyone takes La Source on this treacherous first lap. The rain doesn't look too heavy, so it could definitely dry up throughout.
What they need to do is be very careful and understand. Let's see.
And we have 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go in Belgium. Everyone looks to have got away okay in that first phase of the start. A few cars squirming about on the run down towards turn 1. Wesley holding that inside line, but what can Bosmos do around the outside of Carlin versus Campos? He's wheel to wheel now and further back. A few jigging for position. Looks like the car spinning. I think that might be one of the Pramers. Looks like Brent. Oh no, they're not. They're still 3rd and 4th. Looks like maybe Asmith or Marius Daniel. But Wesley holding on to P1. But Bosmos is coming at him now with a bit of slipstream on the run down towards the Lecombe chicane. And the 2 Pramers still watching on, with Brent leading from Phil, and Bosmos trying to go around the outside. It's a bit like Mazepin versus Sonoda, but great move from Bosmos, and he moves up into P1 in this race. And we saw in Japan he was very, very strong in the wet in round 1 as well.
And I do appreciate that you're not cheering for him right now, because well, Bosmos is your teammate, and I'm sure you're glad about it. But let's focus on the race, where few drivers have made huge leap, like Kappa, who is already P7, recovered 5 positions. Also, Fisco is up 3. So these are the big movers in lap 1.
Kappa was very quick last week in Vietnam, so we're going to try and carry on that momentum. But Brent is under attack from Phil, just behind. Phil looking a little bit more comfortable in these opening couple of corners. Maybe a bit more temperature in his tyres. The top 2 still not separated by a lot, but Phil looks to have got a good run out of turn 15. And can he have a go now at Brent as they run through Blanchimont? Doesn't want to get too close. He's just tactically backing off there, Phil, before he got in. Brent's gone a little bit deep, but still managed to carry good speed, so I don't think there'll be a move this time around. And I think Phil's wise enough not to send one late on the brakes in the wet conditions.
Oh, that was a good break by Phil. caught it right when he had to.
Oh, and Skipper's spun a little bit. He's managed to stop it from fully rotating around, but he's lost quite a few positions from that happening, and multi-rab has passed, and there's cars free abreast into turn one. Jordan on the inside, with Golden and who's that on the outside? I think it's and someone spun actually from that. Can't tell. I think Golden is the one that spun around in the ART, just about avoiding Maris Daniel. That might be a penalty for unsafely rejoining the track. Not too sure. Jordan under attack from Prinz. He's trying to make up places. He's getting a look to go down the inside. And Prinz later on the brakes makes the move stick into P1. Trying to make up places after invalidating in his quali lap. The timing order a little bit jumbled up at the moment. I think it's reset itself now.
I'll tell you what, Bosmos and Wesley are going to have a long-term affair in this race.
Yeah, the gap has sort of stayed at around 0.6 of a second.
Yes, and with clearly no pit stops until the end. This is going to go down to which driver makes or does not make a mistake.
Yeah, from what I remember in Japan on round one, it was you could stick quite close to the car in front because I think the slipstream is quite powerful in the F2 cars. But the problem is, it is difficult to make that move, to get close enough because there's no DRS, there's no ERS to play with, so you can just sort of sit behind your rival quite easily, and I think that happened with me and Bosmos in round one. Broom has managed to get past Phil for P4, with Brent still holding on to that final podium spot for the time being. And they're just trading fastest laps out front at the moment.
Well, the more a line will be formed and the rain gets easier, laps will become faster and faster.
I think they just get used to the conditions as well. It's Big Bear's wheel to wheel with Phil, and Phil's managed to just nip ahead before they get towards Eau Rouge. I'm surprised you haven't seen any penalties yet. With how easy it is, especially in these wet conditions, just to run a little bit too wide here and there. As Big Bear's looking to make a move around the outside of Phil. As they go down towards Lecombe, Phil's got the high ground on the inside. Can he make it stick? I think he's just about squeezed Big Bear out. They're still actually wheel to wheel, and Big Bear manages to push Phil wide. And I think it was
a very nice fight.
It was
nice.
Definitely fair between them.
It's not a novelty anymore to see a Big Bear fighting Phil and other very
still wheel to wheel though.
Yeah, but still, I mean, if you remember that he was just here in RLH and he was one of the slowest drivers we had when he joined like 3 months ago, and now he's fighting C3, C2 drivers. This is very impressive, and it goes to show what a league can do to your skill, how much the league can help you practice and improve yourself.
Definitely, I think it's. I remember commentating on his first race, and he's come on leaps and bounds since then. Yeah, as you said, competing with C2 and C3, and I think even he came fourth in one of the C1 races, or he was definitely up there relatively.
He was actually, I think he got P7 in a race in C1. Yeah.
No stuff. He was on the podium in a 100% race we did a few days back. Broom has gone a little bit too wide and Blanchemont, and that's allowed Big Bear and Phil to really close in. Phil having to think about down the inside. Big Bear's gone a little bit deep. They are keeping it nice and cautious. So keeping the battle nice and fair, which I think is key in these conditions. But it is allowing the top two to really build off a gap, almost 5 seconds now, back to Brent. I can't tell. Oh, and Big Bear's gone a little bit deep.
From Phil. That
Good move from Phil.
Really cheeky from Phil. And experience has paid off in this case.
Yeah, he saw the gap, and he was definitely there to go through that gap and Bruma picking up the first penalty for a hanging excursion at Eau Rouge and Radion. And Asmith's out. It's down at turn 1.
Out.
On the left-hand side. Really unfortunate for Asmith. Do we have a safety car?
And we have full course caution, yeah.
Virtual safety car, yes. Couldn't quite see it, did that weird glitch where it shows the track map is yellow but didn't appear in the top left.
Bosmont's not going to be happy. He was just making a gap to Wesley. He had a bit of maybe over 2 seconds.
Drivers need to be really careful though in these conditions, because we saw it last week and I think in Japan as well, a few guys picking up drive-throughs just have been a bit too eager on the restarts and also just during the period itself. So hopefully we don't see any drive-throughs.
Anyone is going to pitch?
I think it will end by the time, but it does. The rain looks like it's easing off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There we go.
Kappa gets a drive-through.
I think Golden as well. I'll check on the penalties tab.
I'm checking
yes, he has.
right now, and yes, he has. Oh my. Yeah.
Do you know what? It is easy to do. And there we're green again, racing once again. I got 2 in the 100% race. But
yeah, I remember.
I was not happy at all. Kappa's got a very good restart on the back of Fiscal, really closing in before we get to Blanchimont. He's going to make this wheel to wheel. Had to think about it. I think he's just going to try and hang back and make the move at the bus stop. But one of the difficult things about Spa is it's such a long lap that if you mess up the the perfect time to come in for slicks, you can lose out so much and really drop out a few positions. And going in a little bit deep, Kappa has allowed Prinz to go clean around the outside, and now Prinz up into P8 and Brent is into the pits. So is Wesley.
Let's see if it pays off.
Wesley onto a set of softs. Thinking softs can maybe go to the end. You'll have that grip earlier on, of course. You've got to warm the tyres up. No tyre blankets to heat the tyres before you go out on track.
Also, and Bog also. A lot of drivers coming into the pits.
Interesting to see how different drivers have opted for this one. As Fiscal's managed to get ahead of
his drive-through. Skipper has gone to the medium side. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't know what I would do. I think I'd probably go mediums, just to make sure the tyres last. He's still got 8 sort of laps in this race, and Phil's off and into the wall. And I think Big Bear's either copied him, or maybe been collected. I'm not sure. He sort of joined Phil there, so maybe they a bit of a pirouette, and I think both of them were coming in for slicks at the end of this lap. But just shows the track's still treacherous.
Both of them have no wings, so that's going to be a long pit stop for.
I'm looking at the gap, and Wesley is not catching Marius in front of him. Oh, now he is.
Well, yeah, but he's not catching him now. But if he can keep the gap for a lap, rain clearly stopped. So it's time for 6. I'm betting that lap 6 we're seeing the RS Open.
Yeah, that's normally the telltale indicator, and Multirab trying to get past Phil, but I think Phil just with that front wing he can't bat on. I think just sensibly sort of gives the inside to Multi on that one. With Fiscal very close to Bruma at the moment. There's still a little bit of spray kicking off the back of that campus as I look at it. Bosmos picks up 3 seconds. What's he going to do? He's into the pit lane, just about towards the inside. Wall. And Prinz right behind this battle for the top 2, and Fiscal and Prinz both staying out. That's a big call, in my opinion.
I don't know what to say.
I think I would come in now. I'd pit now.
I think it's a bet. We don't have the RS yet, so.
No, maybe that's what the top 2 are waiting for. Bosmos has gone on to the mediums though. I believe Bosmos will be out in P1 relatively comfortably. Oh, and loses the rear quite big time. Manages to keep it out the wall. That's certainly not going to help his confidence. Straight out the pit lane. He needs to be careful actually, because I think he had about 10 seconds to the the two that have stayed out. There's I think a few cars, maybe someone gone off down at turn 1. Doesn't look like it.
And Wesley is not improving his time on the softs yet.
See, Bosmos is losing pace to the top 2. Or now it's coming back down.
Maybe Fiscal and Prince were right to stay one more lap out?
It's very difficult to call. We still haven't had DRS enabled yet, which is normally that crossover point, you would say. I see going through Puon. Bosmos did gain about half a second there, just in Puon. I'm not sure if it's now favouring the DRS is now enabled.
Yeah.
There we go.
So both Fiscal and Prince will surely go into the pits.
I think they would have definitely gained, because when they come out they don't have that sort of nervy moment. They know it's dry. As I think Brent has spun.
Wesley has improved sector 2, so only by 3/10, but enough.
Brent has spun, but I think he'll be able to rejoin, and Jordan, I think, will get past as Brent safely rejoins to the track and does not take any liberties. Something quite interesting. Bosmos, of course, on those mediums, while Wesley's on the Wesley's on the softs. And towards the end of the race, will it sort of swing around and see Wesley now setting fastest lap of the race? And Bosmos, of course, has that time penalty as well to contend with.
Both Fiscal and Prince are out on the
Prince!
top. And Prince loses the car! Oh my!
I always catch them on stream. I don't know how I do it. I think that's going to be a bit of a slam dunk. Bit of a slam dunk penalty, but I think maybe he thought it was worth it. So yeah, we'll have to see how that pans out. I have to sort of bear in mind that he's got a bit of a gap behind him. At the moment, Cap has come out just behind Skipper and Big Bet. I think also something important to remember about this race is the top 12 score points. Of course, also eighth place is reverse grid pole. And Wesley evens up the penalty battle up in the top 2 positions.
So Bosmos only needs to hang on right now and manage the gap. He is on the mediums and Wesley behind is on the softs. So 6 laps is quite a lot to manage that gap. See if he can do it. But Fiscal is in prime position for a podium spot for P3, obviously.
Yeah, effectively got sort of 10 seconds back to Prinz, really, if we sort of assume the penalty, which I feel like it's a slam dunk one. I think it's on its way.
Yeah, and listen, Fiscal started this race in 11th. Prince started the race in 10th, and Jordan started in P14.
Great drive from those guys.
Yeah, Bogorovsky also, he's P7 now, and he started P13. So a lot of forward movers, so to speak. Phil unfortunately lost out because of that wing. So
Kappa pressurising the back of Skipper. At the moment they're running through Blanchimont as Wesley and Bosmos go up Eau Rouge. And see if Kappa can make a move down into the final chicane. Skipper's going to keep to his racing line. Looks to be a bit deeper on the brakes when he make the corner. Doesn't quite make the apex, but stays ahead. That might allow Kappa to get a bit of a switchback line. He's got a better exit, but gets a bit wayward. I think he might just be ahead with a helping hand of DRS.
Oh, Brent has lost connection.
Oh, hopefully I should have a few more invites to rejoin. But the gap at the top almost under a second now. It's getting very, very close. Now 1.1. I mean, obviously, I'm a little bit biased being in the car lane myself. I do hope Bosmos hangs on for our constructor battle with Campos.
Obviously, only normal.
And also Wesley being one of the up at the top in the championship at the moment. Of course, Bosmos in P5, so 25 points here would be a massive for him, as Wesley sets the fastest middle sector. Phil closing into skipper. You never know, Maris Daniel isn't too far up the road, so if things go Phil's way, you never know, that reverse grid pole could still be an option for him in this one. We saw how quick he was in quali, so if he can replicate that.
Big Bear has 8 seconds of penalty, so he's not in contention, surely. Bosmos and Wesley just exchanging fastest laps.
Yeah, I think all of the drivers apart from Kappa in front of Phil have got penalties of some sort, so that could definitely help Phil. And Brent has managed to rejoin.
Prince with the fastest lap of the race. But yeah, he's not gonna get away with that little stunt of his.
Yeah, I think he had a good strategy. I think to by them going a bit longer, it meant the softs, you know, would definitely go to the end of this race. I think, you know, the soft tyre is such a long lap around Belgium, taking them all the way to the end. I mean, Wesley's already on 3 laps. I think by the end it'll be 7 or 8. So it's quite an impressive stint, and I think that gap's dropped back to sort of 1.4 now. So maybe just starting to lose a little bit of performance compared to those mediums. As Brumer sets the fast lap of the race now. Fortunately, him down in P14. But from Brumer's point of view, you know, taking the fastest lap potentially away from a rival could be big for him.
Oh, and Kappa gets past Big Bear.
And Phil doing the exact same to Skipper just behind. I think it could be sort of maybe Kappa versus Phil for that reverse grid pole spot. They don't have penalties.
I don't know what Sammy Kappa is pretty far down the road. Up the road.
If anyone can, Phil can. I think, well, still 4 laps, you never know, a penalty or 2 could mix it up, and for once, Wesley can't, or Wesley doesn't respond to Bosmos' fastest lap. Gavin at 1.6, and
Brent lost connection again, unfortunately. And I have a bug on the TV.
oh,
Yeah.
like a insect bug rather than an
insect
bug in Codemasters.
No. No.
Those are pretty common as well, I think.
Yes.
Oh, and Brent is into the pits, but I think that's probably his ghost, isn't it? They've got an obsession with coming into the pit lane, the ghosts. Found out on yesterday in the Australia race for Group 1 pre-season. What that does do, however, Brent's back, and I think he's going to be very surprised he's in the pits. It does mean that Phil is now P10, Kappa P8. So you never know, that prediction of reverse grid pole for Phil could still be coming true.
And Wesley gets another 3-second time penalty, and I think
well, Bosmos will know that. You can now see how much your rival has without having to sort of ask Jeff, so I think he might sort of be a little bit more cautious in some of the apexes now, as Wesley really pushing another fastest middle sector for the Campos driver. And Kappa had a think about going on the inside of Maris Daniel into Puon, as they're catching Bogorovsky quite a bit at the moment. Looking behind, you can see Big Bear, and then in the distance just about Phil as well. This could be an interesting battle for 6th, 7th and 8th. And you've got first cars into the 1 minute 59s now. But of course, the important thing to remember is, even if you think normally in F1, if you come sort of, 5th, 6th, you get a couple of points. But in this championship, of course, 5th gets you 15 points. Of course, what is normally a third place finish. So these are big points they're fighting for at the moment. Kappa picks up 3
Kappa
seconds.
Gets a 3-second penalty, and that might just give Phil a bit of an edge.
Kappa looking to make a move on Maris Daniel. I think maybe thought the better move is at Lecom rather than down at the source. They can get the best of the exits. Running out of turn 1. Bogrovsky was in a pretty comfortable position for quite a while, but slowly been reeled in by Maris Daniel and Kappa, and now down towards turn 5, or up towards turn 5 they go. The Trident pulls alongside. No, it's the Shrews. The Shrews pulls alongside. They look very similar.
Yeah, but knowing Bogrovsky, and he's gonna play it safe. He knows both Marius and Kappa have penalties. He's not gonna fight them. He's gonna let them pass, and he's just gonna manage that gap.
Yeah, Kappa goes down the inside. Mohammadi, bold move, but I think he wants to get past as quickly as he can to try and sort of build the gap to people behind who don't have penalties, and see what he can do. And Kappa and Maris Daniel going wheel to wheel, and Kappa manages to sort of get the elbows out and find a way through at Pouon. Not sure how legal it was, but it looks relatively right. Brent has managed to get ahead of Bruma. They're going wheel to wheel, a bit of contact, but nothing illegal. And Wesley's in the pits. Wesley's pitting for another set of softs.
But why?
I didn't see. He didn't leave, did he?
No, I didn't see him leave, and he did have a front wing, so car was intact. Everything was good. Why would he do that?
That's very peculiar.
I mean, does he come out? No, he's got a lot to press Kira now, so he just gave up the podium.
It was going to be P2.
Yeah. I mean, P2 is clearly better than fastest lap, which he will get, of course.
Yeah, I assume he will get it on the following lap, but yeah, I can't give a reason for that one, to be honest.
Yeah, really odd.
Big Bear's close to Bogorowski, and I think with DRS this move could be done down towards the con, but I think Bogorowski will be looking at trying to get reverse grid pole. Kappa
Golden retired.
Past Maris Daniel. Yeah, that's down at turn 13. Where second and third are at the moment. There he's on the right hand side, so I think maybe running a little bit too wide. Getting on the gravel potentially.
Never lost it there.
Why? Isn't it where Giovinazzi lost it?
Yeah.
This year? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kappa and Maris Daniel still separated by not a lot. They've been having this battle for the last few laps, and I had a long battle with Kappa last week, and definitely a hard but fair racer, so I think they'll both be enjoying this battle. Currently for 6th and 7th. But we're on the final lap as well. Bosmos has started that final lap. Prinz is getting very close to Fiscal.
I think Phil is en route for that podium spot.
It's going to be close, I think. Very close.
I don't know. It might be Kappa. Big Bear has a lot of seconds. He's got... let me check. He's got 8 seconds, so he's clearly not in contention for pole. But
Prinz moving to the inside. Prinz up in a P2.
It's going to be Kappa on that P8 position.
Yeah, I think unless there's any major dramas on this last lap, it all looks very close down at the Com chicane. Prim's up into Dennis Lassalle, sorry. Prim's up into P2, so it's currently Carlin 1-2, but I think with after penalties, Fiscal will be taking that second place as Brent gets fastest lap. Down in P12 though, so he will get a point for it if Brent could hold on to that. But I'm sure Wesley will have something to say about that on this current lap. I've pitted for a set of fresh softs.
Yeah, it's gonna be a mystery, and we have to solve the reason Wesley decided to pit.
Kappa has got through on Daniel trying to switch back. Wheel to wheel coming out of Malvern down towards the corner with no name, and Kappa does keep ahead now on this final lap. Great battle between these two. Kappa, another driver actually that has improved a lot this season in F1 and definitely carrying that momentum into the F2. I mean, challenging drivers, you know, above C5. Bit like Big Bear, really.
He's actually had an up and down.
Oh, Bosmos has won.
Of course. Yeah, congratulations, Carlin. And yeah, glad for you, Ben. Glad that Bosmos, your teammate, won.
Fiscal takes P2.
Yeah, gets P2, and Prince is on the podium as well. His first.
Wesley might lose P5 here. It's very, very close to having him and Jordan. I think he needs. He does get fastest lap though. What can Jordan do at the final corner? And Jordan has jumped him by 2 tenths.
He does jump him, yeah.
Great work from Jordan after starting quite far down. Oh, and Kappa and Marius Daniel still wheel to wheel. Who can come out ahead? Proper wheel banging here and across the line. Stay 6th and 7th.
And it's...
Oh, Phil just missing out on P8.
Yeah. Bogarovsky,
ran into the wall.
Played it safe and got exactly what he wanted.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of the good things about F2. That reverse grid, you know, allows the drivers to have a bit of an improved result if they didn't go their way in that first race. But yeah, great result for Carlin. 25 points. And hopefully we'll still be within a fighting chance of keeping ahead of Campos after this evening. Also a great debut for Prinz. P3. Getting some, I think Jens's first points in the reserve team, if I'm correct. Yes, it is Jens's first points, which will put them quite a bit up the order. And great work from Prinz. As well, and Fiscal getting onto the second step of the podium. He's currently sat in P4, so that would do great work for his championship. But Bosmos takes the race win, followed by Fiscal, then Prinz Killer, Jordan in P4, Wesley 5th. That's top 5, and of course top 8 reversed for the sprint race.
Prince is saying he did not reset the track, that the game did it automatically. I think the stewards would want to see that. Yeah,
I think it's probably just one quick look at his POV, and I think we can probably work that one out. It can do. I mean, if you accidentally put the car somewhere out of bounds, effectively.
Wesley actually decided to go to the pits because he was sure he was going to have a puncture.
I did question going onto the softs.
Yeah, exactly.
So it looks like it's just about dry for this race. So it's mediums all the way. I think it's about 11 or 12 laps, probably 12. For the race around spot. Bogarovsky on pole. Yeah, I think a few guys on the softs sort of struggled a little bit to the end. I think Prinz was saying that Jeff was calling him into the pit lane quite a bit for that second time. But it also seems we've avoided this sort of fuel load problem we had last week. Of course, you can't change the fuel load you put in the F2 car, but a lot of guys ran out of fuel last week.
I think it was Multirab that said that he didn't have enough fuel for either race.
Yeah, I mean,
feature or sprint, yeah.
Wesley ran out. He was in low fuel mode for most of the last couple of corners, but sort of managed to keep hold of the points positions. But we everyone on the mediums. And Bogorowski leads Kappa, Maris, Daniel, Wesley, Jordan, Prinz, Fiscal, Bosmos, Phil, Big Bear, Brent, Skipper, Multirab, Bruma, Golden, and Asmith. I think it will be interesting to see who does well to either negotiate the traffic or hold on to a high grid position. I think Kappa did very well last week. He started, I think it was P2 in the sprint race, and managed to convert his result into a podium.
Well, it's going to be interesting. Down the first turn, Kappa is a faster driver than Bogorowski. But Bogorowski is a very intelligent driver and extremely strategical thinking. So I'm sure he's going to try to place his car exactly where he needs to in order to get himself in a position to keep that first spot as long as he can. Hoping others make a mistake.
Yeah, and also
yeah,
I think that battle between sort of 6th, 7th and 8th, how those guys sort of deal with the start a bit more in the mid-pack. Quite interesting to see as well. Of course, the first dry start of the day as well to negotiate.
Yeah. Happy to see Marius there. He's Romanian, of course, and I like cheering for him because he's one of the drivers who is very patient and always delivers decent results, even if the race is against him or even if he has bad luck or something. So, hoping he's gonna get a good result here.
Yeah, I think he's due a good result. I think he was a little bit unlucky last week in some of those opening lap incidents. I think he got caught up with that feature race crash we had last week. No, I think it was absolutely no one's fault. Complete racing incident.
Yeah, well,
but yeah, just really unlucky to be involved there.
Sometimes you just can't avoid them. So, and having ghosting off since this season, both in F2 and F1, is going to be another learning curve. So, I'm guessing we're going to see a few more incidents than normal in the first races. But let's see the start.
5 red lights here for the sprint race in Belgium. They're held for quite a while, but it's lights out and away we go for the second time this evening. Looks to be a great start for the Trident. I think that's Jordan. But Bogorowski leads into turn 1. Kappa trying to go around the outside. It's Wesley who takes up P3. As we run out now, down towards Eau Rouge. Bogorowski got a nice little gap, and it's Carlin of Prinz. Wheel to wheel with Jordan. He just about gets ahead as they go into Eau Rouge. It looks like everyone's got away cleanly on this first lap.
Yeah, that's a very neat.
Almost free wide for
moving and a lot of jostling for position.
As Wesley managed to sneak around. It's very close. Kappa just stays ahead. That Prinz just getting ahead of Jordan, and Bosmos just getting ahead of Marius. Kappa almost wheel to wheel with Bog. Can't quite find a way around the outside. Marius losing out to Big Bear as well. Actually, no, he hasn't. They swapped places straight away. Big Bear just keeps ahead. Oh, Bog's on a little bit deep into
and
Huon.
Yeah, and Kappa makes the move.
Bosmos having a look down the inside. There's collision. I think there was a bit of wing damage down at the Lafania chicane. Not sure who it's for. There's a yellow flag as well. Looks like Brent in the Primo's Phil trying to go around the outside of Big Bear. That's going to be a bold move. He can pull this one off. I think he's just going to run out of road and a little bit wide. And Phil somehow saved it. Lose a few positions though.
Well,
and the two Carlins.
Losing the car altogether, so.
The two Carlins battling away with Jordan. Jordan's going to try and line up a move here on Prinz, and who's that getting involved? It's Fiscal. Bosmos down the inside. I think they're still wheel to wheel. He might just sneak ahead. It's now going to be a drag race down towards turn 1. We have a safety car.
Bruma somehow managed to get 10 seconds of penalties.
Golden gets 5 seconds for collision with Multi-Rab.
Multi-Rab disqualified for blocking the pit lane.
Whoa! I reckon they've gone wheel to wheel into the pit lane.
How can this happen?
He looked fine. DRS has now been enabled.
I'm just looking at. I was just looking at him entering the pit lane like normal.
Oh. It did this thing last week where it just gave some drivers drive-throughs for no reason. Hopefully, we're avoiding any little glitches like that. But be interesting to see now the guys who's got front wing damage from the guys in that sort of front battle. I'm certain somebody lost a bit of front wing. I think Prince has lost his. He's lost his. If you look at the car, is the right front.
Prince is missing the left end plate.
Yeah, left end plate. So that could be quite crucial for this last couple of laps. We'll see what Multi if he says anything on the Discord page. We can try and get a understanding of what happened. Okay, I won't read out what he put, but I'm sure we might be able to see that in a report later on. Not particularly happy with what went on, and I'm assuming sort of understandably so.
Oh my! But I mean, I want to know what happened now.
So do I. I think we'll definitely see a report incoming. I think we might be able to see it a little bit later on. But the only problem with a 9-lap race, we're gonna be having a safety car for 2 of them, or probably just for one of them. Having a look at tyres, Phil's gone on to a fresh set of mediums. Didn't fancy a set of softs. Maybe didn't have a new set of softs. As Prince into the pit lane, he is going to repair that front wing. Interesting to see what tyres that Carlin goes on to. Will he risk a set of softs to the end? I think you might get away with 6 laps, just about. He's going for another set of mediums. Might not have another set of softs.
Do you think Kappa has a chance of keeping Wesley at bay?
I think he's definitely
definitely going to try. Yeah.
Definitely going to try. Wesley's won. He won the sprint race in Japan, the feature race last week. I think he's going to do a bit of an alternating pattern. He'll definitely try to find a way through. Very, very quick driver. I think Kappa will be wanting to get his first win in F2. I think he just about avoided the safety car there. I pretend I didn't see him go into AI mode, but
I'm curious what Bruma did. I mean, he must have cut a corner pretty bad. He got 10 seconds of penalty.
Yeah, maybe didn't quite see. There was a bit. It all happened at the final chicane.
Yeah, I think he got the bus stop.
Maybe he sort of realised he was a bit late on the brake, so tried to avoid the cars in front, cut across to sort of go to the inside of the corner, and unfortunately maybe hit Multi.
And if he hit him, and he spun him around right in front of the pit lane, the game doesn't have patience. I mean, it doesn't even let you move away from there. It just disqualifies you for blocking the pit lane. So
yeah,
might have been it.
I mean, of course, I have absolutely no idea what happened. So I'm not saying I'm not saying Bruma did, but
I'm just assuming. So
speculating.
Yeah, it's speculation, right?
The one thing I've learned is just don't say anything wrong. Don't have a go at anyone. But at this point, I think there's a lot of interesting things left to be decided in this race. I think, can Kappa hold on to that P1? Can Bogris hold on to P3? I mean, Then there's a few drivers like Bosmos, Fiscal, Jordan Marish, and all very quick in that last race. What can they do? Can they try and get onto a podium? I think the safety car will be in this lap. Packle's joined up now. Everybody on the mediums, apart from Golden, who is on the softs. Interesting to see if on the restart he can get the tyres a bit more warmed up, can have a quick and fast start on that softer rubber. I might have to ask Brumer if he can post his POV somewhere for the incident. But
oh my, Kappa! Kappa's just hit the safety car.
has he?
I think. Yeah. His wing is fine, but I don't think Bernd Mailander is going to be happy about it.
Well, normally the game is very, very harsh if you do that. If you just do anything to do with the safety car, if you touch it or anything, you're in big trouble. So. Maybe gotten away with one.
Yeah, it was just a lap tap. I mean,
well, you've seen those sort of glitches where if you touch it, the car just sort of explodes. Thank God we haven't got that. But when will he decide to go? We've seen a few drivers, a lot more recently as well. I think after what sort of happened in some of the F1 races, you know, not going after the safety car until literally on the line. So. Still holding the guys after the final corner, or will he go early? Of course, you have got that long run through Blanchemont to do that.
Well,
of course,
I'm not very experienced on restarts after the safety car because I'm usually not in front. But I did have a couple in my racing, and it did good for me was go early. I mean, like both times I think I led. During the safety car, I went early, and every time it was very good for me. I managed to make a big gap, and you know you
it's
have
going now.
You have the Campbell Straight, and it's a big slipstream option there. So going early and using the butt stop chicane, hoping that everyone else is having problems there, may help.
Do you know what? It's been a brilliant restart there from Kappa, and who's that in the wall? Maris Daniel lost the rear. Coming out of the final corner. Brent trying to find a way past Asmith. No way past.
Very shitty to lose the car there because you're over the pit lane, so can't really do anything about it. So his race is basically over.
Yeah, so little left. I mean, top 10 do score points here, but it's going to be hard to come back from that one. Fiscal getting past Jordan with pure slipstream. I think Fiscal managed to get past Bosmos down into turn 1. There's so going to be double move on this restart for him. And Jordan's going to try and hang this one around the outside. That then switches to the inside. Bit of contact, and he's spun around. And that's another spinner as well. Who's that? Jordan. Jordan and Big Bear. Big Bear spun around as two. And Phil going down the inside of Asmith. Good move from Phil. I think Phil and Prinz both picked up 5-second penalties under the end of the safety car.
They not. They hit each other. I don't know who, but
never know. Could get. You know, they have the potential to get those removed. Have to see what the stewards say on that one. Golden gets 3 seconds. The battle for P3 looks like a very interesting one. We've got Fiscal and Boss now on the back of Bogorovsky. Wesley very close to Kappa as well. Will he make a move into the bus stop? He's not going to be quite close enough on this occasion, but Fiscal on the grass trying to find a way past Bogorovsky, and he's going to go down the inside in the bus stop. Bog though is going to hold it round the outside. He's going to have the inside for the next corner, and Bosmos is actually lining up Fiscal on the exit, and Bosmos could be getting past Fiscal in this one. He's ahead as they run down towards La Source. The Carlin driver having a look on the inside of Bog. Bog is in the room. I think Bog was being sensible there.
My. That was a great move by Bosmos.
I think he knew that Bog was sensible. He wasn't going to be silly, and Bog backs out of the run up Eau Rouge, but Fiscal all over the back of Bosmos now as we come up towards the top of Radin, and they're wheel to wheel now down the Camel Straight. Drag race down towards turn number 5. Bosmos has got the inside.
It's gonna be Bosmos, but
oh, it was close, but Bosmos just keeping ahead as Golden gets past Azimuth for P10.
Kappa actually fighting Wesley for the lead.
Yeah, Wesley managed to get ahead. Bit of slipstream while we were watching that battle. I think Kappa knows if he can stay within within that second, he's going to get DRS, and he's going to have that chance to fight him back. I think it is 2 DRS zones, one after the other. It can be quite powerful. You got Prince, Brent and Bruma all very close at the moment. Is that a move from Bruma down the inside? He's having a look at Stavilo, no way through, and that might put Brent all over the back of the Campos. Brent running a little bit wide, so Prince is right there as well. But yeah, Kappa currently keeping the gap within 6/10, and if he can get a really good exit out of the bus stop. Bruma may be looking for a move on the outside. Bogorovsky shuts the door, and down the inside comes Prince. That's way too late on the brakes. Prince has missed the braking zone completely, and I think he's going to have to rejoin a little bit gingerly. He'll be in P8, and I think might have got a penalty for that. And Brent goes down the inside of Bruma and take P5. Keep trying to have a look at the battle for the lead, but they're just battling away for sort of P5 and 6 at the moment. Bruma's got a great launch off Radion. Has managed to get the DRS off Bog, and almost 3 wide. This could be a double move for Bruma. Bruma slots ahead in front. He's P5. Brent's P6. Bogorovsky P7. Brins after that small error down at, well, I'm quite call it small, but after the error,
sending one down the inside on Phil, and he's got the move done.
Yeah, both of those guys have pitted in this sprint race. Golden just behind them on the softs. Not too far behind either, and Kappa's now out of that second window, and Phil!
Oh, and Phil is out. Phil is out.
Massive tank slapper. Manages to keep the car going. No, I don't think any damage. No.
The wing seems fine, yeah. Race seems over, but wing seems fine. As it stands, I think we have a pretty clear podium with Wesley, Kappa and Bosmos.
Bosmos just getting the fastest lap of the race.
And yeah, it's a good day for the Carlin boys.
Yeah, I mean, only one drive and he's done, well, a pretty good job as things stand. The other Carlin though, got a good exit out of La Source. Got the run on Bog down towards Eau Rouge, and they're almost wheel to wheel in front as well. So the advantage, the disadvantage. Oh, Bog has got DRS, so he could be coming back at Prinz down this Camel Straight. Bruma and Brent swapping positions as well. Can Bog go round the outside? Turn 5 not quite close enough to go wheel to wheel. Brent will be hoping he can try and keep within 3 seconds. The Fiscal's winning way too deep into Malmedy. Just about holds on position ahead of Bruma, but if Brent can find a couple more tenths in the next 2 laps, he can jump Fiscal on time penalties.
We have yellow sector. I don't know what happened there.
I think Golden was a little bit slow. Asmith goes down the inside. Good opportunistic move from him. And keeps ahead, but we had a look at them to get the position straight back. Bosmos has got 3 seconds.
Bosmos gets a penalty, but I think he's safe because Fiscal has got one himself.
Yeah, he should be okay, but I think that means he was getting close to Kappa in front. I think now you know that pretty much sort of secures the top 3 as they were.
Kappa will be happy for this podium anyway, so never a thing to lose out to Wesley.
Yeah, and I think P2, and he started, is it P3 or P2? So, you know, holding on to where he was, and actually, yeah, staying where he was. But yeah, I mean, look at the rest of the top,
but if you
top
look at
6.
the drivers, if you look at the drivers behind him, like up to P8 inclusive, and drivers with massive amounts of experience. I mean,
I think Bosmos will be wanting to try and get the fastest lap on this final lap. It's now gone to Wesley. If he was talking to him in a party, he'd do what I asked Bogger last week, like if he could move out the way so I could try and get the fastest lap, even though I had a penalty. So he got the position back, but didn't quite work out for me on that one. It's Prinz and Bruma going wheel to wheel. Bruma just keeping ahead. They come towards the corner with no name. And Brent picks up 3 seconds. That does kind of neutralise the that battle for the midfield points. Of course, sprint race points not as much as feature race. And how's Bosmos and middle sector looking? Doesn't look to be purple.
No. He's 2 tenths
up
away
or down?
from his time, so
okay.
He's down on his time, so
we won't be getting those extra 2 points.
yeah, he won't get it. Yeah,
he might make a move. I mean,
he's not. I mean, he wasn't far off. I mean, Wesley's fastest lap is only 1/10 faster than Bosmos.
I think that was smart from Kappa. No need to fight it. Wesley goes even faster and takes the win here in the sprint race. Bosmos can't quite challenge the fast lap. Thistle gets P4. Brent will be 5th. Bruma in 6th. Very close between. Oh no, Bruma's 7th because of course of that 10 seconds. Bogrovsky gets P6 in the end. And Golden 8th. Asmith 8th. Golden 9th. Jordan 8th. Asmith 9th. Golden 10th. Big Bear in 11th. Bruma in 12th. And then it's just Phil and Marius.
Yeah, it was a nice race. Both races actually. Unfortunate with Multi's accident, and we're gonna have to find out what that was. Gonna be a bit of a busy night for the stewards. But other than that, it was an enjoyable race. And I'm happy for Kappa for his result. I know he's going to be hyped.
Yeah, I'm definitely a great double race from him, especially after last week as well.
Long break coming up, right? Christmas and New Year's. So
yeah. We've got next Friday, Christmas Day, of course. Following Friday, New Year's Day. So the action returns on the 8th in Austria. I'll be commentating again, unfortunately, for me.
Well, it just means you're going to be spending a lot of time home with family and enjoying the vacation, I guess.
Yeah, and of course, Austria, the first race back on the 8th, and I believe after that, it's Monaco. If I remember correctly off the top of my head. I'll have a quick look at the calendar now. Yeah, so Monaco after Austria. Getting the two treacherous street circuits relatively early out of the way, Vietnam and Monaco. But
yeah, so we have Wesley Kappa and Bosmos on the podium with Feskel, Brent, Bogorowski, Prinsker, Jordan, Asmit, and Golden. The rest of the top 10. Unfortunately, we have had two retirements, Multi and Skipper, with Marius Daniel ending up a lot behind the field due to their misfortunes. Bruma, a lot of penalties, 19 seconds in a sprint race is quite a lot. And Big Bear, who's not had the greatest race of his career, but yes, it's a learning curve because it's his first race in Formula 2, so I'm sure he will improve this as well. Lovely commentating with you, Ben, and
pleasure as always.
You and everyone watching us Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and can't wait to see you guys back on track.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining me. I think we'll end this one here. I think the next race will probably be Tuesday night. We at France, I believe, for a practice.
We have a practice race, a pre-season race for the new drivers. Exactly, and after that we have the short series in USA on Wednesday, and another practice race on Thursday. A lot of action, even though it's off season. We announce RLH tiers on Monday morning, and we're gonna have the team picking ceremony, and slowly getting ready for the new season, starting in January.
January the 4th.
The 5th. Well, I think it's the 4th for the first
Romanian League, isn't it? Romanian League's on the 4th.
It's January the 4th for the Romanian League, exactly. So each tier will be then starting its season on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, obviously. So a lot of racing, even if it's December, even if it's off season. Everyone is hyped to get going in January, of course, because that's where the biggest fights are. So but until then, Christmas, family, and hopefully a bit of snow, at least for me.
Don't get any in England, but yeah.
Yeah, I know you guys don't, but in Romania we get a lot of snow in the mountains, so just can't wait to get going snowboarding and enjoying the fresh air. No COVID there. Yeah.
Lovely stuff.
Have a good night, Ben, and
good night.